Hi and hello, and Rock Goddy Touchy here again with another Race to 100 video. Of course, as I said, Race to 100 is finished, but I will continue with those anime reviews. So let's move on to another one I've been watching, and that was Deadman Wonderland. Gantu is the only survivor after a mysterious man in red slaughters a classroom full of teenagers. He's framed for the carnage, sentenced to die, and locked away in the most twisted prison ever built, Deadman Wonderland. And then it gets worse. At Deadman Wonderland, convicts are forced into brutal death matches for the amusement of the masses, the cheers of the crowd drowning out the screams of dismembered. Even when Gantu befriends Shiro, an unusual female inmate, his dark fate crushes all hope until he discovers the strange ability to wield his spilled blood as a weapon. Gantu learns his new skill might be related to the murderous man in red and uncovers disturbing secrets that could expose those who stole his freedom. He's determined to see justice served, but first he'll have to fight for his life in a prison that holds a million ways to die. So I've been watching Deadman Wonderland, and I started it on the 9th of the 10th, finished it on the 10th of the 10th. Now the first thing about this show I want to say is that I love the art style of it, the character style as well, and the character drawings. Sort of very reminiscent of Eureka 7. So as soon as I saw this, I thought, is this by the same creator of Eureka 7? Turns out it isn't, but to me it does look sort of very Eureka 7-ish, and I thought, okay, I'm really going to like this show. Now let's go into the story. Now the story, for me, I found it to be quite thrilling. It was actually a really good story, real good development through the story as well, and the whole idea of having this prison where it is like a high security prison, but it's also a theme park as well. I thought pure genius. It was a very cool idea. Works on so many levels as well, and it sort of leads up to have some really good action-packed things happening as well, like the death races that the convicts end up running, and the actual fights as well, that kind of stuff. So it works really well, and plus the actual story going in the background as well of what's going on behind the scenes, I'll put it like that, works really well as well. So I found it to be really good just for the story. Now on to the characters. Well, Gantu, for me, he is, as Shiro would describe him, a weakling. He is your plain, normal, high school kid weakling. He doesn't stand up for what's right. He wants to, but he just hasn't got the guts to do it. And when he does end up in Deadman Wonderland, something in his mind snaps, and that's it. He realises that, you know, it's do or die, literally. If I don't stand up for myself, no one else will, and I need to grow a backbone. I need to sort myself out. I need to fight back. And it takes him a little while for him to actually realise this, but eventually he comes good in the end. Now for Shiro, I found Shiro to be a good fun character. She lightens up the series quite nicely, because this is generally a dark series. It generally has a lot of blood and gore in it. I was surprised at the amount of blood and gore, actually. You know, there is limbs flying off of corpses and people and that kind of stuff, and it's just really quite generally dark and gloomy, again, kind of sort of feeling. So, you know, obviously being set in a prison, you can't expect it to be all happiness and fan service, but you know, basically with this, having Shiro in there really does sort of lighten the mood a bit, because she's the kind of character that if she was to see something sparkling on a sideboard or something for a long time, like a piece of jewellery that's sparkly, she'd be standing there going, oh, Gantu, look, sparkly. She's that kind of character, and it works really well with the two of them. The chemistry is really good with them as well, and I thought that I really enjoyed the chemistry between them. We have other characters in here as well. There's quite a big roster of characters. My favourite had to be Makina, who is the warden of the actual prison. She is badass, to be honest with you. She's a really awesome character. I'd have loved to have seen a lot more of her, because I felt that she is generally as bad as Revi, and that is a fight I would love to see. Revi versus Makina, it would be so awesome. So I found her to be really cool to watch as well. Another character that I found really fun was Minatsuki. Minatsuki, for me, I found her to be generally quite funny, because she's sweet and innocent, and then she turns into, again, Revy. She's got the whole Reviness to her, and I just really love the way they work that character in and the way it works and everything. So yeah, there is a real good roster of characters in here. Of course, I will mention Crow as well. Crow is an awesome character because he's got this whole, again, sort of badassness thing going to him, but there is a backstory there, and you know, through the OVA we find out a little bit more about him, but in the actual series I found him to be real good to watch because he's just got that whole kind of personality of, if you don't do it yourself then no one else will kind of attitude, and I really like that. So when certain things go down and he's asked for help, he's like, no, I'm not helping you, why should I, kind of attitude. So yeah, real cool characters, to be honest with you. Now the animation, I found it to be pretty stunning. I know I've said this before about animation, but I found that for Deadman they really do sort of put a lot of detail into the actual prison itself, and you can see that you know, just little minute details in there that I've spotted as I was watching it, and I was like, okay, you know, the animators really went to town with this one. They really decided to sort of throw in as much as they can and make it look as good and as beautiful, I will say beautiful, as they can, despite the fact that it is very gloomy and it is set in a prison. So for me, I found it to be really awesome. Now the actual music, this is where the series for me stood out quite a lot, because the opening theme has got to be one of the best opening themes I've heard this year. It is an awesome rock tune and I absolutely loved it. Ending theme, very nice, very mellow, kind of sort of brings you down after the drama of the episode, sort of back to earth kind of feeling. And what I liked as well as the fact is, I think it is one of the singers or groups that sang the song for one of the Erica 7 openings or endings. I know it's one of them, and it's a really nice song called Shiny Shiny. I think it's called Shiny Shiny, and I found it to be really nice, mellow, really cool, uplifting kind of tune. So really like that. Now the original soundtrack, there is some really awesome music throughout the show, and they do some really good sort of gripping kind of music that sort of really builds up the action scenes, and it works real nice. So I found that to be really awesome as well. Also, I've got to add is that one of the characters has an electric guitar, which is a gun, which I found to be, again, awesome, because I've not seen an electric guitar gun, so that really made it really special for me. Now the downside to this series, because unfortunately there is a downside, is that the ending is so abrupt, and it doesn't really give you any inclination of what could have happened or might have happened. Basically, it leaves you with a feeling of wanting more, and I'm very much hoping that they make a second series of this show, because I feel that there is a lot more that needs to be explained. We are left sort of in limbo, as it were, and I felt really annoyed about that, and very sort of, again, that hollow kind of feeling of, I've enjoyed this absolutely amazing action-packed gore fest of a roller coaster ride, and then I'm just left sort of, you know, right, fine, see you later kind of attitude, and I'm sort of standing there going, well, why have you not told me this? Why have you not told me that? Why is this not happened? Kind of feeling. And that is the drawback with Deadman Wonderland. It is an absolutely blistering, stunning series, and I really loved it. But then you've got the whole thing that happens with the ending. So my advice really is if you are going to go and watch this, going for just for the ride, to be honest with you, going for the ride, you are going to have a great time. There are going to be moments where you are going to be feeling squeamish, like you will actually feel like you are going to throw up. There were moments there where I felt like that. You will love the characters. I'm sure you'll love the actual setting as well, because having a prison that's a sort of amusement park and some very again interesting characters in it works dramatically well, and it really does. So I would just say going to it and enjoy it for what it is. You know, don't try like me and understand why they did that with the ending. I mean, from what I gather, I've heard that maybe the manga continued, or manga as it's pronounced, continued. So basically, whether they will do a second series or not, I don't know, but I very, very much hope they do. So despite the outstandingness of the series, we did have that little drawback with the ending. But I will say again to you, go in for it and just watch it for what it is, and you won't be disappointed. So that's all we've got time for this video, so stick around with Channel Tsukuyomi because I will be reviewing Are My Goddess next, and we have got a Berserk review coming up as well, so stay tuned for that. As usual, it leaves me to say thank you for watching, sayonara.